Hi, welcome once again. This time, we want to look at the concept of justice. This word justice and its relationship with law, because in our last clip, we spent time talking about law. It's responsible for everything we do. And you can't talk about justice without talking about law. So we've done a lot in talking about law. Now, in which we shed light on secondary and primary laws, one being international law, one being national law, and how they overlap and work better together. Where we said the secondary laws are among economies, why primary law is always an umbrella of a single economy. Here we are moving to look at justice. What is justice? Everyone will say justice is simply fairness, and it's true. Justice is about fairness. There is, however, some serious challenges around the concept of law. Most people focus on only one aspect of law, when in actual fact, law is categorized into three. First one is what we call the criminal law, the criminal justice. Criminal justice. In other words, justice is into three. People only focus on what we call criminal justice. The other two, most time, they are shelved aside. So we have criminal justice, we have civil justice, and we have what I call natural justice. And there's no any other word that fit this description of this form of justice, the third one, than natural justice, because it's about nature and what is natural to every one of us. Now, criminal justice deal with criminal law. So criminal law inform criminal justice. So when there is a need for criminal justice to be administered, the law that is used is called what? Criminal law. Then we have what we call civil laws. When civil justice have to be administered, then you resort to lawyers, judges, those institutions, whoever is involved, to use civil justice. The third one, when you have, natural justice, have to be, there's issue concerning natural justice, then you have to use natural, what we will describe in this case, natural law. Natural law doesn't mean nature made the law. The law is always made by people. Yes, the situation. Criminal law, civil law, natural law is the circumstances that made us make the law, and it's dealt with. Why we will even talk more on these natural laws and therefore natural justice is that people turn blind eye to it, but it's most important of all of them. Now let's look at criminal justice. Criminal justice, and therefore which is based on criminal law. Criminal justice is the justice that has to address issues relating to anything an individual is not supposed to do. Unlawful. You are not supposed to do it, because when you do that thing, it's likely somebody will be killed, or they will sustain a serious life injury, or someone will lose their property or their life. But if you don't do it, there are other ways to solve the same problem. So those ones are covered by criminal laws and therefore criminal justice. Let me give you a good example. Do not drive a car without a license. Why? Because a license is the only thing that certifies you. It checks whether you have the right mental state, whether you can be able to see, very important in driving. What is your own behavior? How do you do things? Everything around you have to be checked. Have you even learned how to drive properly, and you can drive, and proving you can drive? Are you not a dangerous driver? When you drove the last time, what did you do? All these things are what will make you be without a license. So when you find yourself in a car that you could have taken a bus to go to where you are going, and you now sat on a steering wheel driving the car, the crime you are committing is criminal, will be dealt with by criminal justice. And therefore, you are breaking what we call criminal laws. And 99% of criminal law, if not 100%, are crime against the state. You sat in a car, you are about to start the car, or you are moving the car. There's everything to show you are driving the car. Without a license, police stop you, in a big trouble. So every time you are moving, you are committing a crime. Possibly it will happen, likely to lead to, or has led to. Criminal justice will deal with you. You run someone into a car drunk. Do not drink and drive. You'll be in trouble. Yes, it's criminal act. Do not bear firearms. Do not hold a firearm without a license. For you to be given firearm, you must be trained, certified, and sure you are the person who must bear it, because it's dangerous. Even if you have it for private use, where should you keep it? All those things will be checked, and they know it's with you. So when something happens, they will knock on your door. If you have a gun without a license, it's a criminal act. Yes, you are committing a criminal act, and you will face the criminal law. Again, I don't want to waste too much of your time. There are so many examples. Do not take somebody's property, which we call stealing. You don't without their consent. It's a criminal act, because the person can come after you, and it could lead to you killing them by your reaction. Do not force a woman into doing, or a man into doing, what they don't want to do. Because in the course of that, you'll be committing another crime, which is do not physically hit the other person. It's a crime. It's a crime, because that person can fall down and die. And you can't say a person who is about to rape someone, he will use force, he will use violence. So he has committed so many multiple crimes at that point in time. And that are all criminal cases. Do not produce food, or sell medicine, or produce medicine, or dispose of medicine without a license. It's a criminal act, because someone could buy what you are producing, either food or medicine, or administer a medicine without a proper training. So you don't have license for all these things. You are likely to kill someone. Yes, and that is a criminal act. So there are so many things that make criminal act a serious matter to everyone. And 99% of the time, we have impersonation and so on and so forth. They all fall under criminal act. And we have people who only see law only from that angle. 99% of legal practitioners and lawyers, they only see the criminal aspect. The civil aspect is difficult for them. Of course, from the civil aspect, they get something to it. The criminal act, the criminal laws, and the criminal justice, the problem about them is that they do make society very uncomfortable immediately, because somebody has lost their life, somebody is going to lose their. So everyone is on the edge. So a nation, the law is always working around them constantly, so that they will be nib in the bud, because when you kill one person, the whole community will be crying. So it's a serious problem. It's the risk associated with criminal act is a very, very serious one. So everyone, you can see why the state put money into the institutions to deal with that, and laws are constantly changing for the state to keep up with that, with the control of the criminal act. Yes, seriously, it's 95% of the crime you see in prison, they come from criminal acts. Now let's move beyond criminal act and go to the civil laws. therefore civil justice. Civil justice is always something, an event involving or incident involving two people. The contention in civil justice is also always a contentious, we can call it, because it's contentious. A and B. A gave B money as deposit for A's house, for B's house. B, who is the landlord, agree when A is leaving the property. While he's staying in the property, it's £300 every month. But as £800 was taken as deposit. So A was leaving after 3-4 years that he no more want to stay in the property, and so he need his money to go, £800. And B say no. My microwave is faulty and it's your fault. And A said no. I made the microwave bad. It's an old one. Besides, it's there for use. It's part of my package. So give me my money. It becomes misunderstanding. They go to court. When the police come in, police will only advise them to go to court because it's a civil matter. This one wants his £800. This one said something has been damaged. He wants his money back to make replacement. The law will deal with that from that aspect. That is a civil matter, and civil law will deal with it. There are so many examples that we meet in our day-to-day life. Day-to-day life. Civil laws, and 95% of civil laws are financial issues. You bought a land, you believe you own the land, but another person came and claimed he owned the land. The two of you are having contention on who owned the land. Who owned the land? You go to court, and court will establish you. It's a civil matter. Civil matters, when they are not dealt with on time, they could lead to criminal act. Right? For example, do not drive a car without insurance. That's a criminal act. But two cars collided in the middle of the road. This one says your fault, that one says their fault. There's contention. So the insurance will go to court. They will hear both sides, what evidence that you have, pictures and cameras, and then they will decide who is right and who is wrong. In most cases in Ghana, when the police come on the road there, they decide you are wrong, you are right. You pay, go and pay him, go home. But that's not how it's supposed to work. The cases are supposed to go through the insurance process and go to court and properly address, so that compensation will be made. And it's true that two parties can have a good understanding without even insurance and settle each other, and they're gone. That is an accident. But if there's no, it gets out of the box when there's contention and they are fighting. It's now becoming a criminal, a civil matter that need to go to court. So it's all about settling each other. The third one. So civil law does not necessarily mean one person will kill the other one. No. It's just something that has to be dealt with. It's about settlement, financial, UAPB, finished. There's no criminal act involved. And so we've been able to see the criminal justice and we've seen civil justice. The one that is more important to me is the natural justice. Natural justice is any form of injustice associated, or justice when it is met. It's justice when it's given, and it's injustice when it is, not available for the individual. In other words, anything that an individual will die before their death or live a horrible life for being denied those things, then that natural justice is at play. We have 5 of them. 5 of them, the basics of life: food, clothes, house, healthcare, and education. These 5, very, very important. Very important. When a person is denied any of these 5, we said natural justice has been denied. The problem about most society is that it's a kind of justice that the states can actually shed itself away from. Why? We all know that these 5 basic needs of life come with your earnings. And therefore, when you go out and work, even in the primitive era, the man that works very well on a farm will have more, and the man that does nothing will have to sit down and die. Communities in the past have a way of dealing with that. But these days, healthcare, education, food, clothing, and housing, they are very, very important in the modern world. These days, like any other, everything, like we said, everything we do, every justice has financial and economic side to it. And therefore, natural justice in the modern world require economic needs. And that takes us back to law. Now, look at it this way. Who is responsible for upholding all form of justice? All form of justice. The state. The state, the government. Yes, the entity. It's not the individual. If justice is to be personal, I am free to administer justice as I like, then you can just stab the other man and it's fine. The state jump in to deal with it because it's a criminal act, right? If A and B are fighting and they are disagreeing, no physical attack, but they are likely, the police come in and say, go to court. Yes, it's justice. In court, they are going to seek for justice, for judge to know the information from all sides and settle it. Why have we, for whatever reason, choosing to leave the individual, a child in particular, a child who can't work, he can't do anything, we left him to his father and mother, his family? That justice is being denied because justice, all justice, is the responsibility of the state. Now, in the modern world, in the past, you can just go to the farm and pick some fruits and eat them and you are fine. What you have, you give your child. The modern world is not like that. Everything goes through the factory. You need money, and the only way you can have access to money is to go to the factory and give them your man hour, your labor. So societies where the factories are there, where they have been able to use their law to create the factories, this is where the law will be saying the law is behind the economy. The powerful law create powerful economy. You will see that society that have not been able to overcome the challenges of food, clothing, housing, healthcare, and education, it means there are no jobs in the country. There are no employment. The food is not there. So taxpayers don't have enough to pay the state, for the state to take care of those who cannot have. So welfare systems start struggling. Not that they don't know it's necessary. If you don't know that welfare system is necessary, why when you are walking by the street and that man is sitting down there, you gave him some money? Because we all know everyone must eat. We all know everyone must wear clothes. We all know everyone must have health care. We all know everyone must have a house to live in. We also know that education in this modern world is critical to everything, if we don't want more of the people to be dependent on the state. And do you realize that the more natural justice suffer, more of the people are becoming victims of natural justice, the more even criminal justice increase, and then civil justice increase. Yes, the crime around them, the act relating to it becomes more. Why? When a person is educated, he's likely to get a job. When he has a job, he'll be able to take care of himself. He'll buy his own clothes, his food. And when he's renting a property, he wouldn't want to fight. You say 800 pounds, give me my money. You say that, let's go to court. Because he can afford it. When he go to court, he will not fight on the street to commit a criminal act. And criminal act is likely to be higher. You don't have a job. You are supposed to pay a driving instructor to teach you, go through the process. You will have had education, so you pass your theory test, go for a practical test, pass. When you fail, try again until you get your license. And you get it. But when you don't have that money to pay, you don't have a job, what you do? You drive the car because you think you can drive the car. So you are committing a criminal act. So criminal act is very high. Every woman will want a man. Every woman. But no one want an imbecile. someone that you are with, he can't do anything, he has no job, he wake up in the morning, he's sleeping, he's useless to himself and useless to the world and useless to everyone. You don't want. So this one is the one that will be forced. 95% of the time, these are the kind of people who rape the girls. If you treat the girl very well, because you have some cash, you wake up, go to work, you have quality time for her, she will want you. The girls want the boys want the girls. But there's more to what the girl wants than just you having your way. So you will see that the man that is working do far more when you come to meeting the natural justice. He can afford his own house, his rent, he can pay his mortgage, he can do a lot of things. He has chance to do more in life. He's educated. He's a positive member of the society, he's contributing. The economy is growing. Everyone is better off than the ones that are in prison consuming. Because when you put people in prison, you feed them, unless you are talking about Ghana or Nigeria or Gambia, where you put people in prison and forget them there. So their family will be feeding them. Family become the prisoners now because every day they need to go to the prison. And sometimes, I remember visiting a prison once, in Sawan prison in Ghana. Hey, it was a whole day's job. And luckily I'm driving. It was terrible. And I don't want anyone to go to that. But majority of the citizens end up in prison. Why? Because things that wouldn't have led to that situation can't be addressed because there are no jobs. Natural justice is suffering. And the only way you can be able to have a chance of giving natural justice, because you can't be good, you must first be good before you can become a good Samaritan. Being a Samaritan is not good enough. If you can't give, and you need to work, you need to earn to have. And how can you work when the industries are not there? And it is the law. Can you see? So the law on the side of natural justice in Ghana, in Nigeria, in Senegal, in Mali, in Burkina Faso, in Cote d'Ivoire, in Sierra Leone, in Liberia, in Guinea, in Niger, the Benin Republic and Togo, they are suffering. Why? Because the laws are now having more burden on them. The law itself is not working. How can law work? Law cannot work. Law cannot work when natural justice is suffering. And the natural justice is the one that is supposed to remove people from poverty. Support them, assist them to get on their feet and get back to work and do something good with their life. Everyone had that instinct to do something good with their life. But sometimes people need to be given opportunity. We can do this. And to you, remember, we said we need law. And that law, the country's law are not working. The evidence are there before all of us. So what we need is the regional law, and we need primary law at the regional level. That is what will come down and start to support the countries, and you start having the big businessmen that will work across nations of West Africa, across the economy. Effectively, people like Dangote and Co, they'll be able to move because they will be dealing with the ECOWAS authority rather than dealing with Nigerian Ghana government. Of course, those governments inside will also have important role to play, but at the ECOWAS level, it will do more because the law there is the one that will be used to do most of this problem, because it will be a single economy like European Union. Brothers and sisters, I have no doubt you're on my side. I have no doubt that, having listened to me for some time, you can now see that natural justice will continue to suffer. It will suffer because where you need to sit down, put people together like they are doing in China, where the very huge economy, encouraging things to be done inside and then spreading it around, you will see that quality of natural justice is getting higher. In most of the underdeveloped countries, South America, the African continent, and so on, natural justice is struggling, and people crossing the sea that they want to go to Europe, they want to go to die on the way, which we all did. I'm a victim too. To be honest with you, it is time we change this. If you are able to take care of people's basic need to a good level, I'm not talking about those from Venezuela that are crossing to go into America by force. They have their reasons. But in West Africa, if we can have certain level of quality, this problem will reduce. There are even still more people in Ghana, Nigeria, and so on, who will never go to anywhere. Not because of any other thing, but because they feel they can endure and work hard and make things better. And as for those who are scared that the borders will be free and everybody will move around and then their country will be flooded, it doesn't work that way. The Polish are still in their country when they came into EU. Some are still here. I have good friends. They are here. They are Polish. They came when there was a free movement and so on. The EU legislative house was in place, everybody. And the Romanians and so on, most of them used up, but a lot of them stayed there. Or they are president and the people and everybody didn't pack to come. It will never happen that way. People will still be where they are. Just a few people will move around. And why do you even want to go around? What are you going to do? Do you just pick your bag and crossing the border for nothing? When you are crossing the border, you pay to get a transport to the border. Economic reasons. So you must have a reason why you are paying. When you then cross the border to the other side, you must be paying the car to take you to where you are going to. It's economic. Assuming you don't even pay anything at the border, we want to scrap. The fact is that you don't just cross borders and be moving up and down. Or even, what kind of a human being just want to get up and be, for nothing? I'm going to bury my father in Nigeria, so I'll take a car from Ghana to Nigeria to go and bury my great-grandmother, or go to Mali to go and bury my auntie. What nonsense is that? When you are going, you need to understand that you are engaging in economic activities, and what you are doing must be by law. And this is where the ECOWAS law comes in. You can't be traveling up and down based on treaty. It will never work. We need the ECOWAS legislative primary laws. On this note, I'm sure justice here and your heart has gone to where we want it to be, and your impression and understanding of the concept of justice have changed. That justice has 3 eyes, not 2. Yes, not 2. In most society, justice only see the criminal law, 1 eye justice. No. In some society, it see the 2, especially when there is some little comfort. In every society, justice must see the 3, the natural justice, natural law. And it's not just about the family, because the state is an extension of the family. And a lot of what we need in life can better be provided by the state than by the family. Very few families are able to earn a bit more than their need. Most families are struggling. And I'm going to borrow from one Chinese philosopher, great man, who said, when you are rich, you are wealthy, as a person, right, you are only able to take care of yourself and some few members of family around you. In other words, you help them with justice, you help them with money, you help them with their economic need and so on. But when a nation is wealthy, everyone is a beneficiary. Let us look at this ECOWAS and turn it into the ECOWAS we want to see in our own lifetime. On this note, I said, thank you very much for being with me. And I've forgotten to take you to my book, The Secret of Great Nations. Please make sure you get a copy. We don't know when you'll be making up your mind to start getting the millions and millions of our sales going through. The number is not bad. And remember to subscribe, share, and like our post, so that anytime we are sending our videos out, you'll be the first to get your copy. You'll be notified. My humble self, Kofi Ali Abdul Yekin. I want to bid you a happy, beautiful day and time.